To nobody's surprise whatsoever, we have Guerschon Yabusele officially leaving the Philadelphia 76ers. This was pretty much confirmed. I think everybody knew that the Sixers were not going to sign him and that he was going to go elsewhere. But the team that he did sign with, though, was quite a surprise. I was, at work this morning and I got this news, got this Shams report. And, Guerschon Yabusele has agreed to a 2-year, $12 million contract with the New York Knicks. That is right, the New York Knicks, the team that doesn't even have a coach. And, they could use another stretch four. And they did sign Jordan Clarkson recently, and he is a flamethrower off the bench. So they definitely added some good pieces. But, why the Knicks, man? Come on. The Knicks? I thought he was going to go to the Spurs in 100% all honesty. But, Yabu, man, to each their own. Yabu, I really appreciate his grit and the heart that he showed last year. Definitely a big level of professionalism from him. Showing out, showing up every night, playing his ass off, despite last season being a complete shit show by pretty much every metric imaginable. That is a season that both Sixers fans and Sixers players and Sixers coaching staff alike, front office too, that is a season that we all want to forget about and just keep it behind us, and we're going to do that moving forward. And Yabu, he's heading to the Knicks, getting a change of scenery. And I was thinking, man, is this really a big deal? I know everyone loves Yabu, but we just got to, take a step back and take our emotions out of it and just think objectively about the Sixers roster construction and how they are going to, compete moving forward. And I was thinking, what are the Sixers losing with Yabu walking? And my first thought was the fact that Yabu, he has been a really reliable floor spacer last season. He shot around 38% from deep on, really good, pretty decent volume, 4 attempts per game. And, those are some respectable shooting percentages. And Yabu has been a really reliable floor spacer for the Sixers last year. And, you got the shooting. Rebounding-wise, he averaged, I think, like 5.6 per game, which, is not really, going to bounce off the walls by any means, but it's not bad either. So you're getting some good, decent rebounding, some decent shooting. Defensively, he wasn't really a standout defender, honestly, whether it was on the perimeter or protecting the rim, especially protecting the rim. Holy cow. He cannot play center. Nick Nurse was not playing a Dembona at center for some reason, and was thinking Yabu could play center, and it was ridiculous and made me want to gouge my eyes out. But I don't think thankfully we don't have to see that ever again. But to be fair to Yabu, that is not his position. He's not a center. I guess, in New York, he's going to be, I guess that is so they can avoid, playing Mitchell Robinson and Cat next to each other, getting some more reliable floor spacing out, in those rotations. So it kind of makes sense. I think he is a good fit with the Knicks. But, with the Sixers, man, you lost some decent shooting and some decent rebounding, but nothing really, out of this world, mind-blowing by any means. Yabu is just a good role player. And, I think the Sixers, they have found his replacement in Trendan Watford. And Trendan Watford, he is kind of around the same size as Yabu, both 6'8", 6'9", 7'1", 7'2" wingspan. The thing about Watford is that I think he definitely shows a lot more talent on the defensive end of the floor when it comes to, being able to read, pick and rolls and really fill in the gaps and know where to be at the right time, at least just from what I saw from him, and being able to, cover switches. And, of course, he's not going to be stopping any guards or whatever at his size, but he is 20 pounds lighter than Yabu is. So I think he definitely has some more maneuverability on the court than Yabu does, because he is pretty stocky. And, Watford, is he really that much of a downgrade from, Yabu? That's really what I'm trying to get at. Last year, we're going to go delve into some stats here, so take this with a grain of salt. Last year, Yabu, when he was on the court, the Sixers had a defensive rating of 118, but off it, they had 116. So, according to this stat at least, now I know, that Sixers team last year, that may have been the worst defensive team I have ever seen in my entire basketball watching life. So, I don't know. I don't really know if that's fair. But, Watford, though, this was impressive. When he was on the court, the Nets had a 112 defensive rating. But when he was off it, had a 118. So he was definitely a plus defender, at least according to that metric. And, they're around the same height, same wingspan. And Watford, he is lighter. So I do think that he can do a little bit more on the perimeter. And at least from the defensive highlights I've seen from him, that he really does, notice rotations and can think on his feet. And I think he is going to be a good addition for the Sixers defensively. And, Yabu, sucks to see him go. I mean, I think, fans loved him a lot. I think coaches loved him a lot, just his hustle, his grit. And I think he was, his skills, I mean, the Sixers, they could always use some more shooting. But I think, as flashy shooting is, you also need defense and rebounding. You know what I'm talking about. And Watford, he's not really a amazing rebounder either. Averaged like 3 boards per game last season, but he was playing seven less minutes than Yabu. So who really knows what his role is going to be on the Sixers? Is Nick Nurse going to start him at the power forward position? Probably not. I mean, honestly, I think the starting rotation is going to be Maxey at the point guard, Grimes and probably Grimes or McCain at shooting guard. And then you got PG at the 3. Kelly Oubre at the 4, which I really don't like. I mean, if Kelly's still even here next season, I would prefer him coming off the bench. But I think Nick Nurse is going to, play politics, as he did with Tobias Harris and that sort, since Kelly has been here for a while now. I think he definitely fills in those gaps a little bit more than Kelly Oubre does. And, Trendan Watford, I do really appreciate his ability to pass the ball and really be a hub offensively. And it kind of reminds me of a certain player who used to play for the 76ers that is a, disgraced, is a huge disgrace in the city of Philadelphia. And you probably know who I'm talking about, as some Sixers fans, for some reason, were clamoring for him to return. That's right, Ben Simmons, when he was in his prime at least, was a, decent great ball handler who had good court vision and can find an open man when the defense collapses. And I think with Trendan Watford, if you think about it, he sort of has the Ben Simmons skill set without the Ben Simmons mindset. And to get to know Trendan Watford some more, let's go and react to some of his highlights. We're going to start with this one right here. All right, so he gets the bounce pass, gets the handoff. Oh, fakes the dribble handoff, fights through contact, and gets the and one. Let's go. Another player that the Sixers are signing that, is not afraid to get physical. I like that a lot. All right, so I wrote some of these down. I watched them earlier, but I already forgot what some of them were. But apparently I was impressed with them. So let's go to the next one. All right. So he gets it and goes, behind the back, caught him sliding and hits him with the reverse layup. When did Tobias Harris ever do that? Answer me that in the comments. When did Tobias Harris ever go behind the back dribble to catch a defender sliding and then do a sick reverse layup? I'm not going to lie, man. I mean, I'm not trying to over-exaggerate, but that was a pretty dope basket by Trendan Watford. And he has a good handle. I mean, he really does have a, decent handle, man. I mean, it looks to be in control. It could, be a little bit tighter, but, he's got good power dribbles and keeps, keeping himself in control and not really lose his dribble much. So it's good stuff, man. I mean, I think last season, he was running some point forward actions, bringing the ball up, and I think the Sixers can definitely use, some more facilitating in their offense. So let's go skip to the next one. We got 153. All right, here we go. Yep, got him bringing up the ball against Donovan Mitchell. Okay. Crossover, spin move, and gets another and one. Let's go. Trendan Watford knowing how to, capitalize on those mismatches. You'll love to see it. Then we got 235. Let's head over there. All right, cool. All right. We got him. Oh, pump faking against the Sixers, getting it to Claxton. That was a good pass, man. Let's go watch that again. Let's go watch it again. Well, let's skip to 235. And, hey, I mean, he can catch some lobs, too. All right, yep, good pump fake. And, yeah, caught Claxton, man. I think players like Kelly Oubre, if he's even back next season, and Justin Edwards, I think they can benefit a lot from Trendan Watford and his ability to read the court. Then we got, crossover on Ty Jerome, breaking his ankles. I mean, Ty Jerome isn't some all-NBA defender, but still, man, Getting that out of a 6'8 power forward, not bad at all. And that was a good push shot and swish. Yeah, Trendan Watford, man, he definitely has an offensive bag for sure. Now, is that going to be showcased with the Sixers? You know, when you have Joel Embiid and Paul George, Maxey McCain taking up all the shots? You know, maybe. He's definitely not like he's not going to blow your mind on the offensive end of the floor, but he's definitely got some moves. I think the fact that he knows how to, use momentum, whether it's, physicality, and he has decent footwork and can, capitalize off of pump faking. I think that was actually, one of Ricky Council's best strengths was that, from last season, is that he catches guys on pump fakes and he just goes straight line drive, a north-south mindset, and he can really just get to the rack, man, and be a play finisher for the Sixers. And Trendan Watford, man, is he really I don't think you would like him to be a little bit better of a shooter for sure, and that is what you're missing with Yabu gone and replacing him with Watford. But Watford at the same time, man, he's got some strengths as of his own, and I think his passing in particular, I think that's going to help the Sixers a lot. I think on the defensive end of the floor, at least, since he is 20 pounds lighter than Yabu, he can definitely, I think, be a little bit more reliable on that end. And of course, you got his scoring package as well. I mean, like I said, man, he's not like, Vince Carter or anything, but, he can definitely be a serviceable player, and I think that is enough for the Sixers. If, Joel Embiid goes down or something for a couple of games and you can use some scoring punch, I think Watford, maybe he could do that. But, I mean, we kind of said the same thing about Andre Drummond last year, so we'll just see what happens. Players, they can adapt to their role, and who knows, man. I mean, him playing next to all these really good offensive players, we'll see what happens and how he will play with the Sixers next year. I'm really excited to see what he does. Or maybe Nick Nurse just is not going to play him, and Daryl Morey is going to cave him and sign another 85-year-old to start a power forward. And I hope that does not happen. But, that's pretty much all I got, man. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you're new around here. But I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.